Hello. I'm so sorry. So sorry. I had to leave and go someplace else because of the glare that got right into my eyes. But hello everyone. Welcome back. I'm sorry I had to leave the video and restart, but I'll start all over. So welcome please. What we wanted to start with today is a few updates that we are mostly already aware of. Today is March 30th, 2026. My very first update is Janet Museveni and what she's going through. As many of us have heard from many of our colleagues who are online, is that she did take a fall in the bathroom of her house and hit the back of her head. And usually injuries to the back of the head are worse, could be worse than those to the front, because in the back of your head is where your brain stem is, which connects to a lot of the rest of your nerves all over the body, including your arms and your other limbs, your legs and so on and so forth. But in any case, when you hit the back of your head, you could lose vision, you could lose, a lot of functionality that has to do with the brain, the back of the head, the brain stem, and your nervous system, which is the communication of the brain about what to do, when to move your hand. If you touch fire, what do you do? How do you react to things like that? So she did take a fall at State House, and at first they took her to the military hospital in Mbuya. That's where she was treated. They tried to treat her from there. She was on life support, very, very critical, very critical. And recently, a day or two ago, they said that she was sent to Germany. Sorry, she was sent to the United States, according to an itinerary that is being shared a lot. However, it is very likely that that itinerary was shared for intentions of throwing people off. But my intelligence that I got said that she was sent to Germany. Reason being that Kagame of Rwanda, President Kagame, was in Uganda trying to help Muhoozi and Salim Saleh and obviously Museveni with what to do. Hi Flo, welcome back. What to do to help with what's going on. As you know, Kagame himself is sitting on a time bomb, and anytime from now, anything could happen to his government and his leadership, and he's very well aware of that. But in any case, they're both in the same boat, because Kagame has thrown things back and forth to Museveni, and Museveni has thrown some back to him. So both of them are in defense mode, but they're cut from the same cloth, and so they always defend each other or support each other. So Janet, at this moment, is in a hospital that likely the same hospital in Germany where Kagame was taken for treatment when he was critical a few months ago. Because of his presence in Uganda and him making all the arrangements, I believe we may have been hoodwinked by the airline, the special airline that left Uganda to go to Savannah, Georgia, as where she was taken, but I think she was sent somewhere else. I believe that family knows that there's no place in the United States where they can go. United States or Canada, London, the UK. I don't think they've been attacked in Germany before, but I know very well that they know that those countries, they can't go and hide completely. Amama Babazi went to the UK for treatment, and he was smoked out of a hotel or something. In the US, there's been several. There's also been some in Canada. So I don't believe that they will send a patient out here and the whole route is trackable for us to deal with them, especially now. There's also speculation that if Janet passed in Uganda or passed away in Uganda, it will take time for them to even share the news. It'll be hard for them to come out and say this has happened to Janet or so on and so forth. But those three speculations that she's either abroad in the US for treatment or has gone to Germany where Kagame organized that she should be taken and treated to his specialist doctor, or she may as well not be there, but is being kept at Mbuya because I understand the security and everything that happened while she was there, when she had just been taken there, has stayed the same. So there's not been much change there, which means it is also possible that she may not even be with us, but is still in Uganda. As you know, these people will try really hard not to look weak. Okay? That's one of the things that they're not going to show is weakness. I can bet that Janet could be in coma or gone and they won't speak about it. That wouldn't surprise me one bit, because they want to prepare themselves to brace whatever they might face if they come out, especially knowing that it will be celebratory for most Ugandans. So that's it about Janet. Well, one more thing. Today, while I watched a video of one of my colleagues, he mentioned that according to another source, Janet may recover or somehow get some life back in her, but her lower limbs, I mean her legs, would both have to be amputated because of the cancer that has eaten most of her legs. So I don't know what her condition is. I don't know what her condition is, and if it is cancer on her legs. But I know that from the fall, so many things could happen, including necessity to amputate because of a loss of functionality in limbs and all of that. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to say that it's truly medically accurate. But there is that. So she's either not here and they won't come out. She could be in Savannah, Georgia. She might well be in Germany where Kagame was treated. Or she may be gone and they won't say. Those are all possibilities. Because they know how much we want to celebrate this. Okay, I've never been this evil, you know. But these people, with everything they do to people, you can't wish them good. I'm yet to meet somebody who has lost somebody because of Janet Museveni or Museveni family who is really pleased by how things are going for them. And it's not evil. It's just what they call closure. For some people, it may not be enough, but people who are that evil, I can't cry when they go because it is too much pain, too much for everyone else, too much for, Yasin Kauma's children, too much for just anybody, the political prisoners that are in prison for no reason, who are brought back to prison every month just for show, because they want to, make them feel like they must surrender to whatever Museveni wants just so they can live. Like President Chagulanyi said, he wants the freedom to choose. And that's all we want, is the freedom to say, I want this and not this. I want this person and not that person. And not for that, all of them to impose themselves on us and want us to choose them. It's impossible. It's impossible. Okay, moving on. The government is now under Muhoozi and Salim Saleh. They are the two people running the Ugandan government. Don't be fooled by Museveni showing this and that, or videos of Janet Museveni AI tricked so that it looks like they're still in power. No. Museveni has his own set of problems. For example, seeing ghosts. I understand he's seeing 3 ghosts or shadows that are following him, and he's terrorized by them. He looks at their faces and he's afraid. I don't know what that means, but that man pretends, or that man is constantly performing witchcraft. So it doesn't surprise me that he sees things that may not make sense to us, but because he's so drenched into that belief and all of the witchcraft activities, it is possible that even with the people that he has killed or have died in his hands are coming back to him. I don't entirely dismiss those facts. It's not something I practice or believe, but I know that for him it's happening because that is his reality. You know, when you do something so much, if you believe in something so much, no matter what anybody tells you, your belief comes first. That's why different people believe in different religions. Different people believe in different reasons for existence. Whatever you have that serves you will be your reality no matter what anyone says. Okay? So one other thing that Muhoozi and Salim Saleh are vowing to do, because of the last court session where the political prisoners were brought to prison, and they chanted a few things, you know, people power, our power. They were very upset because, especially because they prevented journalists from appearing or being in court to record the event. It is natural that because these people are being held for Computer Misuse Act, some of them, like most of them, are being held, you know, for supporting Noob, obviously, but for the Computer Misuse Act, which was thrown out, okay? It never became law, or it temporarily was, but then it cannot be used now because it was thrown out of court. With that said or known, the judge, who seemed to read everything as if she was ordered to say that certain things, did not, or disallowed, the presence of cameras of journalists in the room. I agree entirely with the political prisoners because they cannot be tried in the dark as they chanted, because the intentions of the Museveni people has never been pure. Okay? People like Eddie Mutwe, who were arrested, abducted, essentially, taken away, tortured in the dark. Okay? Now we expect them to be tried in the dark as well? No. There's nothing good that comes out of these people. Imagine, or talk less of the fact that they want this court session to proceed without cameras. It is in the same mindset that during elections, they turned off internet. Or when Museveni is planning on moving things around, he orders power to be turned off from other locations. It is never a good intention of Museveni to do anything without a witness, to do the right thing without a witness. Therefore, I applaud our political prisoners. Stay strong, you know, keep the faith. I know it's hard, believe me. Sometimes when I watch those videos, I just can't stomach it. I cannot believe the things that they have gone through. Someone like Waiswa Mufumbiro, he was not even there during the drill that they're blaming him for being part of. He was not in the country. Eddie Mutwe, he has never run for office. He does not want to be a member of anything, not a local council member, not even an LDU. Eddie Mutwe just lived a normal life. He's a barber. He has never, as much as he's built or has his, you know, his strong and powerful and this and that, he has no interest in attacking anyone. He has never been in any fuss or fights. You know, Eddie Mutwe loves his friend Bobby Wine, and he offered his life to protect Bobby Wine. Not because he's paid heavily to do that, no. You know, Eddie Mutwe is much more threat to Museveni than Mugisha Muntu, who was a general, who is a whole general, and ran as an opposition, okay, as an opposition to Museveni. Eddie Mutwe Waiswa Mufumbiro, Olivia Lutaya are more powerful individuals in the eyes of Museveni than Mugisha Muntu, who ran as an opposition of Museveni. Is that ridiculous or what? This further proves that, obviously, all of the opposition that Museveni has are people that he has put in place to help him stay or look legitimate as a democracy. Museveni has never been a democracy, and he doesn't want it. Our people, our forefathers or our fathers who ushered in people like Museveni, did not know. Reason being that Museveni came in during bad governance and said exactly what they wanted to hear, only what they wanted to hear. And they accepted him and embraced him. But that doesn't mean that Museveni had no intentions. We didn't pay attention to what Museveni was doing. But everything that he said or meant to say truly speak about where we're ending up today. Museveni has said things here and there subtly. He said things that there won't be an opposition by 2020. He truly meant it. And people clap and shake hands and think, oh, yeah, that's a good thing. No. Here we are now. We have to undo a lot of what our parents did. Many are not here. Our grandparents embraced him. But we have to now, as the descendants of those who brought him, undo what we were absent. What happened while we were absent? Which is of an advantage to us now because there's a generational gap. There's a whole generation between us that never lived to see this. But being that we are gifted with our own, internet and things like technology, we've been able to successfully at least get somewhere with Museveni. And I'm sure we're going to break him. I'm sure. I'm very confident that this time Museveni is going to go. Museveni must go. Nature is taking its toll on these people. That's why Janet is down. It's a combination of things. It's the stress, it's age, it is the guilt of what they've done for so many years. It is bad karma that's coming back to make its appearance, as it should, because that's just what life is. They knew they wouldn't escape this, but somehow they felt empowered to, by the tools they have, such as the military and the guns and all of that. But this time, I believe it. I think we're going to make it. I believe we're going to make it. So the government is now led by Muhoozi and and Salim Saleh. That's Museveni's brother. One thing they've decided to do to the political prisoners is they're planning to poison them while they're still in prison. The Waiswa Mufumbiros, the ones who the ones who we know where they are. Unfortunately, there are some who we still don't know where they are, who are missing. But the ones who are left, today and tomorrow and the day after and the next week and next month, those are the ones they want to poison. And the kind of poison they want to give them is the one that will start in jail, in prison, and work its way. And then when they realize that they are feeling weak or the poison has settled well in their bodies, they will release them from prison and send them into the community or their homes from where they will each die one at a time. Muhoozi and Salim Saleh are here to revenge on people like Waiswa and the new people for failing their dream of a government. They feel like by now they should have destroyed every opposition that existed. But Noop is standing in the way. Muhoozi is absolutely upset because Bobby Wine is outshining him. According to him and his father, it would be Muhoozi's time by now. But of course, as nature would have it, he's a spoiled brat. He's a child. He's a Peter Pan syndrome type child. He was gifted. He was given everything on a silver platter. You know, if Muhoozi had worked really hard to become a general, like they say he is now, he would guard that position with all his might. He wouldn't say the things that he says. But because Muhoozi was handed 1 star, 2nd star, 3rd star, or whatever how many stars he has, is the reason Muhoozi behaves this way. He alone and he himself has destroyed his father's government. And it is irreparable and cannot be rescued. He's a psycho kid. Thank you, Jonah. He will not be rescued. I know that he's trying really hard. Salim Saleh is going to try to bulldoze things around. And that's the only way they can do anything. But for Muhoozi to legitimately be elected or appointed, excuse me, will not happen. So he's drenched in revenge because, first of all, he doesn't have His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, which is something that they have wished and hoped for. And they know darn well that the military and the police were the ones who helped or made sure that Bobby Wine successfully lived in the country in hiding and left the country right beneath their nose. It is the reason why Muhoozi is arresting the military or police or officials in the military and police left and right. Today, the Monitor came out with a document that states that, I'm going to have some water, sorry. Excuse me, there's something in my throat. Anyway, today a document came out in the Monitor that states that Muhoozi has so far arrested 60 military executives, police and military. But the real source states that at least 60 police and military have been arrested, at least, over suspicion of abating or aiding Bobby Wine from exiting the country. And also sharing information to people like us so that we can get it out and help people and warn them and protect them and keep them safe. So he's still going to continue arresting people. Fortunately, he has not touched anyone who we work with. None of them. Or I wouldn't be doing this right now. In as much as they think they can use the knowledge that they have, I think that what we have in place is definitely beyond what they could handle or what they can try to take away from us. Muhoozi is threatening to visit Kyagulanyi Ssentamu's family in Uganda, and he says he's going to make His Excellency cry. This likely means, because this is how they live and believe in acting, it is likely that he's planning to harm a family member of His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. So anybody who is close, who can reach the family, let them know that this is likely to happen. But as soon as they find suspicion in some sort of activity that's not normal, to please share it so we can get it out. Okay? So Muhoozi plans revenge on Nup political prisoners by poisoning them. And he also wants to visit His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu's family. And he says he's going to make His Excellency cry. We know what that means. Okay? The next thing is the old oppositions have been meeting secretly with Muhoozi, Salim Saleh. They have all negotiated positions. People like the Mpugas, someone like Semujung Ngandang. I saw a video where he went to greet Anita Among and seemed like, a regular to her. Some of them from the Acholi sub-region. I know of some Nup members who are coming from the Acholi sub-region and plan to go and meet Anita Among. And I will share the names in a few days to come. But they want to go and meet Anita Among and state that they are on the side of Anita Among. They're NUP members. We know the names, and we will get to them when the time is right. These names have already been shared with the executives, and they're aware and they know how to be safe from them. As I said, Museveni has his own troubles. He's seeing shadows, and he's not sleeping well. I'm not sure if that has to do with being old or dementia or things like that, but he has also done his own share of evil. And so it doesn't surprise me that what Museveni is going through is meant to happen to him. According to sources regarding Janet Museveni's condition, 85%, she's in Germany. And with the condition that she's in right now, as I mentioned earlier, they said that her lower limbs would have to be amputated if she survives being where she is at the moment. If she survives. There's a big if, because it is likely that she may not come out of what she's going through at the moment. Our NUP member Hightower, our brother, foot soldier, Museveni has ordered a shoot and kill for you, and it's been a warrant out there for a long time. However, he has moved on to search for you in Kenya, where he suspects you live. He has found some Ugandans in the area in Kenya who he is working with, and they're coaching them so that they can come out and say that you taught them, or you took them out there with the promise to train them to become soldiers for NUP, and that you do have arms and you are an organized rebel group. As you know, Museveni wants to brand NUP a rebel group desperately. Desperately. And after His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu leaving Uganda, like I said, many forces have been arrested, and they're now divided. As they're being arrested, they're sent to different locations. And you also know that a lot of SFCs have been spread out in the military, in the police, in the infantries, in the different locations where the armed forces live or work. The purpose of having them there is to try to get them infiltrated in the military, and also use them to identify, yes, Eve, he is one of them. Eve says Odongo might be one of them. I'll get to him. I've got something to share about him. So the armed forces are still going to be arrested further. People like Don Navasa, who, as you might, I don't know if everyone knows, but Don Navasa was the armed officer who had plotted to kill Kyagulanyi Ssentamu in Arua. It was unfortunate that Mr. Yasin Kauma was killed in that attack. The intention was to shoot His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. But something about the steering being on the opposite side of the vehicle, that instead of shooting the seat where the passenger seat, they shot a driver's seat where Yasin Kauma was sitting. Because some vehicles, for example, in the US here, we drive, our steering is on the left side of the road, of the vehicle. But in some countries, the steering is on the right hand or right side of the vehicle. And so because the vehicle that His Excellency had at the time had the normal steering, as it should be in Uganda, swapped around to look or be like the one in the United States, which is to the left, which is this side of my car. So Don Navasa was the executor of that deal to try to end the life of His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. But as we speak right now, Don Navasa, his life depends on Museveni's government falling and Kyagulanyi Ssentamu's government starting. And that's how life is. whatever they have done, okay, is going to come full circle and get back to them. So the armed forces are now divided because of the infiltration of information. They don't know who is telling who. And they have a major reshuffle coming up because Muhoozi and Salim Saleh have their own suspicions of who is passing information. And Muhoozi, being super temperamental, he does not have the time to investigate who is actually doing what. That is why the people who are giving us information are still in there, while everybody else is arrested and thrown in jail. But that serves them right, because the people they're working for are just like that. Okay? So there's going to be more arrests coming, and there's nothing that they can do to stop filtration of information leaving their government and coming to people like us. Museveni's government, there's lots of changes. Lots and lots of changes. The other thing is there's a new initiative by Salim Saleh and Muhoozi, where they're having youth wear NRM uniforms or t-shirts. They're paying each one 500,000 to 700,000. This is another way to help them promote legitimacy of Museveni, or as the president of Uganda, because we know that he's struggling, and he continues to struggle with a failed legitimacy or recognition as the winner of the elections in January 2026. Because he's struggling a lot, they're forcing people to wear those t-shirts, paying them here and there to wear them so that they're all over the villages, and having people looking at them and thinking, oh yeah, I think the government is still strong. I think the NRM are still strong. But that's only a ploy for them to look legitimate. However, when those people who are given those t-shirts are provoked, okay, you know, they'll wear those t-shirts and come into the community. Excuse me, I have a bit of a cough. They'll wear those shirts and come into the community. And obviously, NUP or genuine NUP members will feel offended. You know, you see your friend that you thought was, you know, is going through the same problems, should understand. All of a sudden, they show up in an NRM t-shirt. You may question, you may ask, you may say, what's going on? What changed? What changed? In the efforts to find out, or they hope there'll be some sort of reaction or negative reaction towards those people. And with that, they will cause an incitement of violence. As soon as that happens, whoever is present, it doesn't matter if a child, a woman, a grandmother, a grandfather, anybody that's present that will speak negatively of those people wearing uniform, those youth wearing uniform, will be taken and punished severely. We may or may not see them again. Okay, so that's what they're planning to do. What the Museveni government is trying to do is to ignite some sort of violence so that they can take it from there. Remember, the coup d'etat is still in plan. It's still intact. It may be more possible today than it was when I first introduced it. They specifically want to start something, either something small that will cause something light, or go full blown to something big at once. So even if we may avoid violence in small forms here and there, the big plan of them starting a coup d'etat is not going to end, because it's the only card these people have left. I can't imagine there is something else that Museveni knows that he feels like he can land perfectly to stay in government. Okay? First of all, he's afraid of swearing in. He's afraid that on the swearing day or the ceremony at Kololo, he's going to get shot or get picked up. Like I told you in my last video, Museveni has dreams, as most leaders do. As in the Bible, some of the leaders or the pharaohs who had dreams could not continue being the kings of their kingdoms, because those dreams baffled them to the extent that, because they could not interpret them, they decided or made or saw the downfall of their government. So, in essence, as a human being, Museveni knows that they've lost control of the government. What Muhoozi and Salim Saleh are doing are grasping on straws, because it is not possible to turn anything around anymore. The Western world has not recognized Museveni. Bobby Wine is out here lobbying. A lot of files are sitting at the ICC offices. Lots of files at the European Union, European Parliament. All of these places where Museveni says, that guy is loose and is talking. And that's one of the things that Museveni feels and knows for a fact that he's going to go. Yes, Gift, he's definitely going. Okay? So, with those people that I talked about that will be given those NRM t-shirts, paid 500 to 700,000, Muhoozi and Salim Saleh, they have about 1 billion Uganda shillings to give away on that ploy. Okay? So once those people retaliate or cause any sort of, talk back to these NRM wearing t-shirts or whatever, they want to cause fear in people and keep them in fear so that they can move on with the coup d'etat with the least resistance possible. Everything they're trying to plot now is to try to soften the blow of a coup d'etat so that when they come in, or when their plan works out as it should, they'll maintain a fearful grassroots so that people don't regroup and try to take down the government that they are trying to hold on to with a struggle. Okay? So watch out for those people that are going to show up in NRM t-shirts, yellow t-shirts. Please look and look away. Don't say a word. If you do, be gentle. Just, move away. Because even those who are doing things like that are looking for money or survival. A lot of Ugandans today don't believe that Museveni will change their lives positively. That thought is out the door. It used to be that people had a lot of faith in Museveni. Not anymore. And I don't believe that's going to grow back again. Because when I hear from the grassroots, when I hear from people back home, everything I hear is a heavy heart just hoping this man and woman and family could just disappear all at once. Nobody cares what they have to give or what they have to do. Obviously, the apologists and the religious council, interreligious council and all of that, they still believe, because some of them have done so many grave offenses that the only survival they have is this government continuing to exist. There's a group of people like that. The ones who are forcing Museveni to stay or forcing a way for Museveni to stay longer in government is because they have a lot to lose. They have done some things that a new government would incriminate them and cause them to lose everything. There are people like that. That's a faction of the population. People who cannot lose the government because they feed off of it, or they're feeding really well. But even then, it doesn't take them. It takes the grassroots. Just like when Museveni came, it was the people that got him into power. The same way he's going to go. And our president tells us that we can have a change of government without bloodshed. And I know that we've lost people already. I know that. I acknowledge that. But otherwise than having the use of the gun to change a government, the way that he's doing it, the way that we're doing it, is the more peaceful way. And we will continue this way. But the feeling of loss is in State House, and they know it. The people who go there to visit say that it looks like a limbo. It's like somebody has died in that home. And I don't know if Janet has already, but since the election, the State House of Uganda looks like a home where somebody has died. They don't have faith in each other. They don't trust each other. Many of Museveni's historicals, people who came with him, people who came in power with him or ushered him in, have told him to just let it go. Amama Mbabazi has told him, just leave this thing and go. You have lost. They have advised him to try to form a new opposition because they believe that a new opposition could help them come back with a new face and then later unveil continue what they were supposed to be doing or what they're doing. But even then, Museveni came out and said, you know, I have already used oppositions that have been mine, including Besigye, Mugisha Muntu, who is this PLU guy? Oh, PLU, his son. He has also used the Mpuga's group. That's another opposition that's his. Nandala Mafwabi was Museveni's project. All these guys were Museveni's opposition. And that is why today, Mugisha Muntu doesn't care if he won by what percentage. This guy of Jema does not even know what it means to care about winning an election. The peasant party man who went and filed a lawsuit against or trying to fight the election results, even he withdrew his own suit, because how are you the one filing or putting a case in court and yet you were somewhat the last on the election tier, on the winners tier? So Museveni claims he won. Okay, Bobby Wine, I believe, came next. How are two people in between skipped, and the peasant guy, who did not even make half the vote, who did not make as much as His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, go ahead and sue, and not Kyagulanyi Ssentamu's, and instead of Kyagulanyi Ssentamu suing, because the likelihood of overturning the election and a re-election and a genuine win, if things turned around, it would be that the second person would be likely the one to win or has a better chance. But in this case, the peasantry guy, the almost next to last, maybe last, was the one that sued. And in any case, it makes sense that he did, being a project of Museveni, because if he sues or when he sued, he was hoping that Noop would come out and say, hey, we'd like to join you. Here are the DR forms. Here is our evidence. Here is everything we need to sue. Because what they assume is that Noop is not aware of politics. They're not good in politics. As much as they despise us, they think we don't know, we don't have the knowledge of, we're not smart. But I tell you, Bobby Wine has knocked Museveni hands down time and time again. So this peasant guy from the peasant party died in his own movie. Whatever efforts he was trying to make, whatever skills he was trying to pursue to try to get Noop to come out and speak and offer him the DR forms, which I believe was the goal of having him sue, okay? Sue, put a suit in court where the judge would be, obviously, Nzeja. The Attorney General would be somebody appointed by Museveni. Nzeja is appointed by Museveni. Chiriowa Chiwanuka, and then Museveni's son-in-law, who's Museveni's attorney, would be the one representing Museveni. Essentially, this peasant guy sues. Museveni is defended by his son-in-law, who is actually in charge of all legal activity in Uganda. He says what happens where. It is no wonder when the last time Waiso Mufumiro and the political prisoners were brought in prison, the judge, the lady who was speaking, or presiding over the case, was reading everything word for word. She did not look like she knew what she was saying. Neither did she have any precedences to attach to the case or to make a ruling based on what she knows for a fact because of being an attorney or being somebody with that experience or somebody who has a reference of a case that they can attach and say, according to this happened where this person sued so-and-so or the state so-and-so versus so-and-so. This is what the decision was. Without any of that, she went ahead and read the document that was before her, which all those documents come from Museveni's attorney, who is his son-in-law, the husband of one of his daughters. He's the one who tells even Zasia what to do. None of these decisions are made fairly because it's the law in Uganda. That is why when His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu comes to power, a lot has to be changed. The judiciary must become independent of being coerced by other arms of government, or even people who are able and well-to-do who may be able to change things or arm twist anything that must be passed by the judiciary. So people like these people, okay, they hope that we don't know what to do so that when they play a certain game, we fall in the trap. But many a time, especially with Kyagulanyi Ssentamu's coming, it hasn't worked. I watched a video today where Odongo, Honorable Odongo, this is really unfortunate because when you think about the older generation coming off of places like, you know, Chief Justice Owindolo just resigned or retired, you know, people who are older in age leaving offices, you think people like the Odongo are ready to fit into those shoes legitimately because somewhat of their experience. Odongo has been in parliament for at least 20 years. He's a law student, a trained, a legal person. Odongo has thrived heavily on getting funds from the Museveni government when the time is right. When Odongo comes out and says things like, if you can, I will share the video. If you know what I know in the background, the things that this man is doing to try to get money from Anita Among, bouncing between Mao and Anita Among, causing a rift just to get money from especially Anita Among because Mao doesn't have it. And then every time something happens, he jumps in right away. Why? Because then Museveni says, come over here. What are you doing? What's the noise all about? How much do you need to shut up? That is how Odongo lives and has benefited from this government. For Odongo to come out and say that Bobby Wine or His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu is simply running away. And Museveni is not looking for him. You know, and that running away is not valid, or the reason for which Bobby Wine is running away is not good enough for him to do something like that if he feels that his reasoning or reason is legitimate. It is unfortunate that this is somebody from, I'm not somebody who believes certain people are better than others. No, I embrace every tribe in Uganda, every person, even living abroad here. The way somebody treats me personally matters to me more than what they look like, where they come from, and all of that. But to speak about Odongo coming from Acholi or northern Uganda, in an area where we have lost so many elites, so many, educated, hardworking, in high places, people who can serve the people, you wonder why he can't see it for himself that maybe, just maybe, he may be the right person to take up space in the right place right now or soon. According to Odongo, Museveni must remain governing Uganda for a long time. When I say people who are benefiting from this government or people who have committed some atrocities in this government do not want Museveni to leave the leadership, I mean people like Odongo, because every time something happens that upsets Museveni or gets him a bit startled, Odongo comes in the mix to try to light a fire on the other end so that he's invited to be asked, what's going on? How can I help you? And he's fed, then he's quiet. During the campaigns, Odongo said Bobby Wine or His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu or Noop will not cross Karuma to go to northern Uganda. Meanwhile, this is somebody who claims he's in the opposition. I think he ran as independent or whatever. Even in running as an opposition, he hoped to win the election. But I can tell you, even his own people did not vote him. He ran leaning towards the NRM and people knew it. As much as elections were cheated or stolen, Odongo did not win. What is Odongo doing now? After stopping Bobby Wine from going to Gulu and all this and that, right now, Odongo is looking for Museveni to shut him up with some money. So when you see him yelling this, that, and the other, he's looking for an opportunity to get called at State House and say, what do you need? How can we just let you lay off this? That is what he's looking at. It is unfortunate. I hate that we have to fight each other this way, but we must, because sometimes these adults or seniors think that we never grow up and that we will never know right from wrong. For Odongo to come on TV and say Bobby Wine should just come and meet Museveni. Honestly, the whole world has seen how endangered His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu has been. The whole world. Even a child knows that Museveni is looking for Bobby Wine. Odongo knows very well that Museveni never negotiates fairly. Never. Like when? When has Museveni negotiated? He says he has seen Museveni twice just to go and pick money. When has Museveni been fair and said, let us sit at the table and talk and tell me what's bothering you? Can we meet halfway? Can we do this or that? No. But even then, Bobby Wine does not need negotiation right now because he won the election. There's no negotiation there. The reason why Odongo continues to yell is for Museveni to just give him, sprinkle some dust. And then he'll disappear for a couple of years or go study something. He says he studied philosophy. Oh boy. Philosophy. That's why you are swelled up like this. No disrespect. Anything you study is great. Because I believe, a discipline to be able to sit and go through lectures and go through commitment of studying to learn something, no matter what it is great. But please don't misuse it and feel like because you have been in those four walls that you know it all. Honestly, Bobby Wine has been terrorized from the get-go, even before the elections were announced. Odongo knows darn well that Biabakama, to this date, has not released the forms, the DR forms that were signed that show results that he read. Odongo knows that Bobby Wine won the election. I'm Trust me, he knows. I know the circles he is in. I know that he's speaking with one of the lead Northern Uganda NUP candidates. She didn't make it. Odongo is working with one of the members of parliament that ran under NUP. Odongo himself has written a document for this lady to take it to Anita Among and has given her all the talking points so that she goes and gets money. So I know what I'm talking about. It is unfortunate that this is somebody who by now should be holding our hands. Odongo would be a mentor to me. Honorable Odongo would be a mentor to me. But this is how much we have lost our direction because of people like him. He has everything to give, but he would rather give the enemy. I can't tell you that where he comes from is in the best shape possible. No, we all have the same problems, but he only thinks about himself. Only himself. I was very upset to hear him say that Bobby Wine has no reason to leave Uganda. He has no reason to run. He has no reason to stay away and try to go to these organizations and lobby for the democracy to come back to Uganda. What is he talking about? What type of leadership is this? The same person who stopped Bobby Wine from coming to campaign, to speak in Gulu, to speak. Rumor has it that Janet financed his schooling in Italy when he went to study. The last several years he was in Italy studying. It is possible that State House funded him. But how do you give up your soul? Many of these people don't realize that their children will live. Tomorrow, my father-in-law is buried in Uganda. May God rest his soul. May God rest Nathan Okori's soul. I still tear up because one of the things that I knew about Baba, we called him Baba, was the truthfulness. However bad something is, he's going to tell you. And he was honest. He, amidst heavy intimidation, Nathan Okori came out and said, my son was killed. He said, and my son told me that he was poisoned. In a group that we chat in about the funeral, Honorable Mawa, a very, very, very honorable Acholi individual. I don't know why he's not in public leadership. He should be. He sent a message and said that the message again. He said, tomorrow we'll send off our father, Nathan Okori. But I want to remind you all of how honorable he was. Nathan Okori said, my son was killed. And he stuck by it under heavy intimidation. You know, if all else, Nathan Okori was the one to bring Jacob, his only son, or his own son, to the hospital in Seattle. It should have been the brother of Jacob Olanya to go with him to Seattle for treatment. It should have been Museveni to go with his son for treatment. But no, they sent strangers with him. Even if he was to die, even if, they should have sent him with a loved one. He did not have that. He was in his deathbed with strangers. That is how Museveni and his people do things. They chartered a whole plane where this man would lay in a portion of it. And they sent a few guys who had nothing to do with love and care for him. They were just doing a job. Mo, his girlfriend, and a few other people, 2, 3, 4 people, none of them cared as much as Jacob's son, Andrew, would have cared. As much as Jacob's brother would have cared. As much as Muse Nathan Okori would have cared. God rest his soul. Man. You know, we don't have any more mentors. If we are looking, we don't have. We have to start a new generation of mentors for our children. It is unfortunate, and I don't know how this is going to be taken. It is unfortunate that the offsprings of Jacob rely or lean on people Muse suspected of killing their father. It breaks my heart. But again, I don't know what the shoes they walk in. I don't. I'm here to speak for me. And today, I am telling our people that we don't have any mentors. We don't have mentors that we expect. Because everyone is trying to eat. The Odongo, who should be mentors to us, are looking to eat. The offsprings of the people who have died are being fed so that they don't think. So that they stay and worship the people who have sent their people to be departed. That's just the reality of life there. It breaks my heart and I'm sad about it today. I am sniffling because all of a sudden I felt deep sadness for Muse today. But not just for him. It is not right to bury our own children. If you're a parent here, we should never bury our children first. But as a NUP member, I know firsthand that we've buried so many. And the reason why we fight is so that we stop this. So that we stop this. So that our children will know that we did something. That we fought. And they'll emulate what we have. Even if mine are young, someday they'll find this. Someday somebody will say, your mother did this or that or the other. Let us not let our generation down. If you are in a place of if you are in a place of if somebody can learn anything from you, which I don't believe any human being is useless. I don't. You know, Odongo, being the person that he is, in a situation that he is, a human being that he is, he's powerful, unfortunately. There are people who will believe him. There are people who will believe him. There are people who will think Odongo has said the right thing and will run with it and lead the wrong path. Please, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it. Odongo doesn't have to come on TV and say garbage like this. Because his words matter. His words, like all of us, his words will matter someday. The children of Museveni do not have a place in Uganda, in anyone's heart anymore. God, I hope their grandchildren have the same last names. I really do. If the Museveni's children have the same last names, then we're in the right place. Because they will not even get a position to fetch water for anyone. Let alone live in Uganda. Unfortunately, that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. It's sad. Muse lived the rest of his life after Jacob died thinking about the pain his son went through. Thinking about that pain. You know, when he came here, he went into ICU immediately. When somebody is very sick here, they recommend hospice. Hospice means comfort care, where all you get is medication to just keep you painless. That is where he needed his family members. Jacob needed Muse right there. Jacob needed his brother right there. Jacob needed his son right there. It is said that when they said that Jacob will not recover because the doctors think he's far gone with his organs failing, they called State House and said he's not going to recover. Can we bring him home so he can spend the rest of his time at home? Museveni said, do not bring him back unless he's gone. Okay? Museveni said, do not bring that man here before he's dead. Think about that. Think about that. To think that Odongo is from that tribe. No one should bury their child, especially knowing the details of what might have happened to him. No. No one should. So Odongo, while you dance this dance, just know that as this boat of Museveni sinks, he's going to have to toss off some valuables. And as much as you think you're still in his good graces, when it is time to let you off the boat, you will go. People like Mao. Mao went with Jacob to the hospital in Seattle. In describing the deterioration of his health, he did not think that my brother could potentially need his family member here. My brother would need his family member here. No. His ticket is paid. He's in the U.S. He's probably living well. The doctor said his brother is dying. So what? So what? Mao stayed here with his deteriorating brother's health here, with Muse in Uganda, with Andrew, Jacob's older son, in Uganda, with Jacob's brother in Uganda, able-bodied in Uganda. And yet he knew that his brother is dying. Those are the leaders we have in Acholi. In Uganda, those are the leaders we have. That is my experience. But there are other experiences out there. Several others. This is what Museveni has turned you to, against your own people. Against your own people. Wake up, Uganda. Everybody wake up. We must keep each other. We must care for each other. If Bobby Wine cannot live in Uganda today, it's a matter of time before all of us cannot live there. All of us. You who is still there thinking that you're safe, you're not. You're not, because you know what? It's a matter of time. All these wealthy people have their wealth taken away in a second. Gone. The Musevenis inherited and it's done. All of you in Owino, you have been given up to the end of this week. Owino is supposed to be burned down. It has been signed. Museveni and Salim Saleh and Muhozi have already said that Owino should not exist for another week without a fire. Owino should go. So go well, Baba. You shouldn't have buried your son. But it's okay. They will pay. I know they will. You needed each other. You know, I didn't want to make him a part of politics. I really didn't. But his example is really one of those that's everywhere. If I'm experiencing it, many of you may have, or someone has that you know that's close to you. So just when you hear the likes of Odongo from your area, speak up to them. We have to speak up. Because if we don't, they think we don't know and we don't care. We must fight for our country. We can't just let it go. Today is Muse. Somebody else is brewing in Museveni's mind. The next and the next and the next and the next. Did you know that Don Nabasa, who was arrested by Muhoozi, is the brother of Adonia, who is the U.S. foreign mission from Uganda, and Adonia comes from Kagame's actual family? Do you know that? Are you that important to them? If they can do that to their own people. Don Nabasa, the one who was assigned to kill His Excellency, now depends on His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu to get him relief from captivity of Muhoozi. Can you imagine that? Did you think that would ever be possible? You know, when you see these people fighting and beating people up and shooting people up, you think they you know, their life is immortal. Don Nabasa is the brother of Adonia. John, I'm okay. Thank you. All day I've been thinking about this. I didn't think I'd come today, but I'm fine. I'm okay. Don Nabasa is the brother of Adonia, foreign mission from Uganda to the U.S. The same guy who was speaking and saying that whatever Bobby Wine is saying is not true, trying to squash that. She shared the same thing in the media of Uganda. Is the brother of Kagame, a relative of Kagame, close relative. All these people are related. All of them. Then comes the apologists like Odongo, who have absolutely no relation, plotting all day, all night, trying to see where he can get some sprinkles of cash. I am most disappointed in people like him, because Odongo should be a mentor to me, or at least to people like us who are trying to rectify things back home. All of us who are trying. Those are the people we should lean on. Yes, Dennis, it's Don Ayebare. Yes, he's a relative of Don Nabasa is the brother of Don Ayebare, who is a foreign mission in the U.S. for Uganda. But that goes to show you how important you are when the time comes. If Don can be brought to his knees, what about you? So we all have to stand up in a choir and sing the same song against these people, or else, when some of us think they can eat those crumbs, we are not going to survive until even they go. Because the way Museveni is making decisions now, anything that's outermost, you see, when you peel an onion, you start from the outside and then on and then on. Like an onion, Museveni is the center. All of it must get undone. Everybody around him, he will throw under the bus. Anita Among thought she was untouchable. The reason why right now Mao is even a subject of running against Anita Among is because Anita Among no longer serves Museveni. The reason Alan Kasuja is back in Uganda, which, by the way, is it's not the best decision for somebody like him, because he has worked for the BBC. He's in the public eye. He has, status where he lived in the UK or whatever. Whatever he's going to do now is going to be his judgment on how the rest of the world treats him. I will not be surprised if Alan Kasuja is one of the next sanctioned people in Uganda because of the next things he's going to say. And all of these other assignments that the government of Museveni expects him to perform. Alan Kasuja will be one of those who will be sanctioned from leaving Uganda to go anywhere else. But obviously, being part of them, they think they will survive this. But let's brace ourselves. Don't give in. Whoever you are powerful. You're teaching someone, whether you know it or not. Use your words kindly. Use your words the right way. Even if you're looking for money, don't smear it that much. Don't go to the extreme. Because when it's all said and done, you're worthless. But what you are teaching the next generation, you have your children watching you, you have your neighbors, you have, the kids who think you're the greatest thing. You say things like that and they run with it, but they're running themselves into a wall. Those are young people. That's the future. That's tomorrow of Uganda. So I'm severely disappointed by what he did and what Odongo said. But I'm not surprised also because it's not the first. It's not. Odongo should not be fighting Bobby Wine. Even though the first time he brought Bobby Wine to Gulu, him and Mao, they did. But obviously it is convenient now because he can get some cash. That's why he's acting like this interreligious council. The most useless group that we can never rely on is the interreligious council. I learned that they wrote letters to all foreign missions in Uganda telling them everything went well, despite what's on video. Everything is recorded and shared. Bobby Wine spoke before the European Parliament. Bobby Wine has spoken in several different places. Even if, let's say, they didn't trust him, there are several videos that have shown up on the internet. None of them have spoken about that. None of them. Eddie Mutwe, when he was beaten and looked sick, and Muhozi bragged about his punishment, Eddie Mutwe went to a regular church every Sunday. There's videos or pictures of that. Eddie Mutwe has a priest. Nobody from the interreligious so-called whatever spoke out about Eddie Mutwe's suffering. I, who have never met Eddie Mutwe, I felt the pain that he felt. As a human being, just a human being, boilerplate, just a human being. We all felt the pain of Eddie Mutwe. But the interreligious church or interreligious council did not see any of that. The interreligious council also did not see that Bobby Wine's home all of a sudden turned into a barracks. No. How? They didn't. Interreligious council does not see all these abduction records that we share every day, including the ones that are aired on TV or on radio in Uganda. Let's say they don't have cell phones. Maybe they don't have smartphones because those dresses don't have pockets. I don't know. Maybe. I don't wear those kinds of dresses, so I don't know. Maybe they don't have cell phones. Maybe they don't watch TV because they just have to pray all day. But they do get time to go see Museveni and get brown envelopes. None of them spoke about what is going on to Nupe prisoners. They're brought in and out of court every day. They're killed every day. During the campaign trail, Bobby Wine had so many problems, including people shot dead in broad daylight. None of them spoke anything about that. But when they were sent to come to see Mrs. Bobby Kyagulanyi at her home, they came with cameras. They came to take report and take back to Museveni and tell him the status of what's going on there. And also bring their religious whatever to Mrs. Barbara Kyagulanyi to say, my daughter, tell us where your husband is. Tell him to come back. Tell him not to run. Tell him to come back. Luring him into a trap that he will probably never live. They know damn well that Bobby Wine would not have lived in Museveni's hands. But these people in church dresses came anyway. They came boldly and tried to coerce Mrs. Barbara Chagulanyi to tell where her husband is. But bravely, man, we have a mother. Thank you, Mrs. Barbara Chagulanyi. The faith and the strength that you have, every woman should have. I admire you. I admire you, Mrs. Barbara Chagulanyi. Wherever you are, if you get to see this video, maybe just this part, because it's long. I respect you. I admire you. I think we should all be that way. Because of you, our president lives today. In many ways, because of you. Your strength after Arua, and on. So anyways, I have my last point here that I'd like to go over. There is, in efforts to try to act as if nothing is going on with Janet Museveni, they have created a fake AI video showing her being active in the community. And one of the other efforts that they want to employ is there's a woman empowerment program that is said to be led by Janet Museveni. It is going to work on the ground, to the grassroots mainly, to show that she's okay, because the grassroots are the larger population of Uganda. They're the people who influence, not influence, but they're the major majority of Ugandans who, given the opportunity, can influence things, change or advancement or decline, whatever the case might be. Museveni knows the power of the grassroots. That's why he tries to maintain them uninformed. And this is an effort to maintain the grassroots to stay uninformed so that they don't hear about Janet Museveni's failure and the continued decline of the government. They're going to be going to the grassroots, to the people in the communities, giving them 300,000 shillings with as a recruiting measure to try to get them into youth groups here and there. And those youth groups are going to be collected or gathered and taken to Changkwanzi for brainwashing. As you know, that's all Changkwanzi does. Changkwanzi, the place where they take, I know they take MPs because my mother used to be one. They take MPs, they take all kinds of groups of people. Sometimes they've taken teachers to Changkwanzi. It's just a place where they say, they teach patriotism, but patriotism in Uganda to Museveni is brainwashing. It's just feeding in Museveni all day. That's all they do. So these people that will be gathered, the women, they'll be sent to Changkwanzi, and they'll be tested. Some who will be unable or disabled or whatever will be dismissed. And the rest who will stay will be given 300,000 shillings to use, and also to send back home. Actually, they'll be given that money to be sent home. And then the rest of them will stay there and get recruited into a new service or military. Okay? They'll create a new military group. And then eventually they'll become agents. What they want to do in lieu of the coup d'etat is to create or cast a web of their people operating in the grassroots, in different parts of government, in different parts of or areas of service, so that they'll have people that they can relay information with to, and what to do, and so on and so forth. And so those people will be used eventually after that. The news, like I said, it said that there's been 20 military officials arrested. I understand there's at least 60 military people arrested, including Don Nabassa, and so on and so forth. Museveni continues to struggle with legitimacy, and that's why several Ugandans have been sent to South Africa, something about celebrating Museveni's win. Even though there's no win, you know, there's enough opposition in South Africa, but obviously he wants to show, and maybe those videos will be televised heavily, so that somehow he feels like he's enough. Because Museveni right now feels like a light paperweight. He feels like he's not enough. And that is true. Museveni, whatever you feel is valid. Whatever you see is valid. Whatever you dream about is valid. Whatever ghosts you are seeing are valid. Because of the things you've done, the people you have killed, the people whom you have taken from. Museveni has hurt people from unborn babies to old and retired and you know, and all that. He has destroyed from unborn to retired, old age, and all of that. When I mention suffering at every level, he has done it. And so Museveni faces his own demons now, because it is all that he has left to face. When people retire, what I hope to do is they go and reflect on the things they've done. They look at the achievements they've done. They look at their grandchildren and celebrate. They look at their children and celebrate. They hope the best for continuance of their genes or genetics or whatever the case might be. But in Museveni's case, it is all misery. Imagine that. No one should live like that, unless, of course, you've made your bed, which Museveni has done and done very well. He now lies in shame. Janet acknowledges it. I understand she cries day and night. It is no wonder she's sick. She's constantly worried about the end of their lives. I tell you, Museveni's grandchild would not even be allowed to fetch water for a job. No. Why would you live like that? Why would somebody choose that path of life and think that's normal? Look at Muhozi. He's fully guarded every day. He cannot eat food and enjoy it. He cannot sleep and feel comfortable. He's always worried about being attacked or kidnapped or killed. What kind of life is that? So I leave you with, remember that your words are powerful. Even if you think you are not a mentor to someone, please know that you might be. I speak with a heavy heart today about Odongo because he influences a lot of people. Even from Acholi, the people who don't know beyond Karuma, who might think that he's somebody. When he says or speaks foolishly like this, those people are lost. Those young people are running into a wall. Eva, where is Kameni? Karuma is what I said. The Karuma Falls Dam, the bridge. I think it's a cutoff for northern Uganda and onward to Sudan and whatever. You are inspiring someone whether you know it or not. No human being is useless. Even Museveni inspires us not to be like him. So live well, live intentionally, because what you give is what you get. But more so today, I pray for my father-in-law. May your soul rest in peace. I know you're reunited with your son today. I hope, I really hope, and I believe justice will be done. Justice will be done. Thank you. I love you and leave you. Take care. Thank you. Bye.